Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend. Very excited for this next guest. I've been wanting to get him for a while, and it finally happened. You've seen him on Everybody Loves Raymond. You hear him on Bob's Burger. You've seen him on Comedy Central. Andy Kindler is going to be here via Zoom, and it's going to be great. So, subscribe, rate, review, and enjoy the show.
From Hollywood, California, welcome to Reza Rifts with your host, Keith Reza.
Oh, hi, Andy. How are
Good.
you?
Good. I hurt myself, but you know that, right?
Yeah. You all
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah. Was it you
Yeah.
forgot to tie your shoes or something? Or
No, it's old people. I'm not supposed to say I'm old.
right.
My wife says this, tell people do the Jack Benny thing. I'm 39. Honey, I'm not. I, I'm, what's that? I know because I thought you were in the other room. I threw my wife under the bus because she was in the other room, I thought. But
Right.
she's peeking back in with issues. No, I fell down and I've been falling down a lot, so I can't fall down again. But I like walking so much, but I also like living. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
I I have a beagle and this I mean this happened about 3 weeks ago, but I tripped over him and I fell down
Right.
the stairs and like I
Oh
got
no.
I got like a big scar on my leg and it
Oh
took
my God.
for
How many stairs was that?
it was about 4 or 5, but
Oh, that's terrible.
it was cement stairs. So like
Are you kidding me?
yeah,
Did you
because
hit your head?
no, I landed on my leg. So because
Oh,
it was outside at a park and it was painful. And I gotta tell you, I love my dog, but for 30 minutes I hated him. I was like,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's really was. I think blaming the dog is what most people do. Not really. In the old days, they did it.
yeah,
In the old days, they would say things like kick the dog. But this is back in the 50s and 40s when they beat children. When
yeah,
they thought that, oh, spare the rod and that kind of thing.
yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been trying.
I got hurt last week, but now I'm back.
You're good. Yeah. I've been trying to get you for a while because I really look up to you. I saw you at the Rec Room in Huntington Beach about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago,
Oh,
right when it
wow.
opened.
I remember that gig. That was fun. I forgot the guy who was booking it.
Kenny Weber, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the club doesn't exist anymore, but I just thought you were so great there.
I'm not
So,
surprised it doesn't exist anymore. I really am not. But not because it wasn't fun.
yeah.
I mean, that came out the wrong way. It was actually a fun room, but just the idea that Huntington Beach, which never has had a comedy club, has never been a hotbed for comedy.
Yeah.
Uh, and also, I don't know if you're aware that there was a comedy boom in the 80s and 90s. I don't think people know anymore that there was a huge. That's when
It was
comedy
the
got
first boom.
the first boom.
Yeah.
What's the second boom to you?
I think the second boom is probably 2017. That was when
Oh,
everyone was starting to sell tickets because
oh, I see.
when
Yeah, in that way.
yeah, when I started it was all about, hey, free tickets, come see me. And now like I've been doing comedy for, a little over 20 years. So like,
Wow,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, so I would say that 2017 was probably I was like, "Oh, cool. Everyone's coming here for comedy." You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, before what you're saying is absolutely true in the sense that not before that time, because I was just talking to my podcast partner, Josh Elvis Weinstein, on our fantastic podcast. What's it called? The Thought Spiral. What was your what was I saying to him?
Oh,
You have to
we were talking about how Huntington Beach never really had a cool comedy club,
no, but then you said something, and then my mind went blank
the
again.
comedy boom, and then I
Right.
said I would say 2017 was the second boom.
So see, you're good. Most people, Josh, who's my podcast partner, he can't remember what he said because I lose my place every second. But he was telling me because he's friends with now I can't remember the guy's name. He's like huge. It's speaking comics who are now huge that were never making that kind of money before. Nate Bargatze, but so that money was never very few people. Maybe Brian Regan, a couple of Jerry Seinfeld because he was famous, but these people are building their movements. Tom Segura, that's who he was talking
Oh
about.
yeah.
These people are building their followings on their, without TV.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
not me, not me. I prefer to keep
You
things really
keep it
loose.
on the TV.
I don't. Who needs the aggravation? Who really? Who needs the aggravation? If I was capable of selling out 10,000 seat arenas, that would require me killing every night. Who
Yeah.
would want to do that? I mean, I would want to do that, but
Right. Yeah.
I like a half filled room. I've always said that.
Really? Oh, ah.
I
I
like a
mean,
me or three-quarters full.
yeah, three-quarters is, I think, the perfect size because then you only have to worry about offending one half of that quarter,
That's
right?
true. That's like 3.75 if I knew what I was talking about.
Right. But you were talking about the TV, and you actually worked on the TV with one of my good friends on Raising Dad with Bob Saget, and I wanted to know like how was that? Like, did you guys get along and stuff? Do you have any cool
Oh
side?
yeah, we got real. I'm so sorry that was. I didn't know you were close with him. How'd
Yeah.
you meet him?
Uh, the truth, Norm Macdonald. I toured with Norm for 9 years,
Oh wow.
and it was funny because like Norm and I were gonna go see Mortal Kombat, and then I think Norm wanted to get out of it, so he's like, "Hey, let's go to Saget's house." And I was like, "All right." So we go to Saget's house, and we missed Mortal Kombat, but I became close with Saget, and then when Norm died, Saget called, like I started opening up for Saget, and he called and texted me like once a week until Saget eventually passed.
Oh man. No, that was well, it's always a tragedy when someone like exactly your age dies, but in that case, it was just such a tragedy because he fell, in the
Yeah,
hotel room, and I have to say, we had the opposite kind of acts because his act was very, kind of like blue but he himself was blue. So he
yeah,
came by honestly, but he was also extremely funny in every way. So he was funny all day long, So, but we never had crossed paths before. I never even watched the video show. What was it?
America's
Yeah,
Funniest.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
but it'd be hard to know, and unless you knew him and you saw clips of him being hilarious, you wouldn't know that you
did
wouldn't know from
stand
the
up.
stuff he
Yeah,
did because was it The Facts of Life or was it Full House?
Full House. Yeah, I
Full
think.
House, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, but he was hilarious. He was also just maybe one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Just the
yeah,
nicest people. He really cared. He really cared. Although he he wasn't like brimming with self-esteem about stand-up. He could still be very I told him once, this show that I'm booking, you have to do all new material. You can't do one thing you've said before. And I was kidding around with him. He goes, no, I can't. He's like, he thought I was serious for a second. Uh,
that's so him.
yeah, yeah, isn't that? He goes, no, I can't do that because it's not that he can't get sarcasm in any in form, but for that one moment, he thought that I was saying it's all new material night, and so I did a club. I had a club here in L.A. and I can't even remember the name of the room. Uh,
It was your
comedy.
club?
Well, no, it was at Meltdown. I used to
Oh,
have a show at Meltdown,
oh, the
and
comic book store.
yes, I used to have a show. I can't remember the name of the special, not a special thing, the particular show. That's what it was called, the
Yeah.
particular show. And uh, so I had him on there, and he was just, I had so many people who have passed who I love. Like, I was really in love with Fred Willard and was lucky
Oh,
to
I
know
loved
him and everything.
Fred. Fred
And
was the
and
best.
he passed,
And
and
his
this,
wife.
yeah, that was even more
Like,
shocking because
yeah.
Fred and Mary were the greatest, were like almost show business Johnny Appleseeds in a way. Like I met Joanne Worley, I met Peter Marshall, I met all these people through the fact that Mary loved to have these parties and she just loved the history of show business and she loved new comedians
Oh,
and
yeah.
Fred was more Fred was more shyer, but he still loved all the parties and everything. So that was a terrible loss when that
Yeah.
happened. And
I
Saga was terrible loss because that was like, on a narcissistic level, you go same age as I think it was same age as me. Uh-oh, same age as me. Here comes messages from the Lord. But
right.
uh and so that's not the nicest way to look at something. Oh, you're only concerned about yourself, but it's just natural. It's just natural when all your friends are dropping dead teeth.
I
Every
know.
one of them.
Yeah. That's why I don't think it's a good idea if I open for you because
No. Oh
like
no, I'm a perennial.
oh okay.
I think I will be. If I had a career of tremendous fame, um, it wouldn't be as fun right now where I can do. You know what I mean? I'm going to be able to limp along at this
Yeah.
level, and I won't be able to say at the end of my life, "Boy, I don't know, I had that peak, and then things went." No, I didn't have the peak. I just had a steady, let's move it along kind of career. Let's move this along.
But do you think that maybe that's kind of like the best part about being a comic, like is the having that move along thing where like you're known enough to do comedy and that's all you kind of want to do, you know what I mean? Like movie star, you just do stand up, you know what I
I
mean?
agree with you 1,000,000%. But the only thing I'll say is that when the pandemic happened, I stopped everything because I just did. First of all, my wife and myself did not have still not to this day, gotten COVID. Not once gotten COVID. And so I did not want to be flying around the country. And that idea has stuck with the Trump administration and the FAA. So I haven't flown. I'm going to fly to New York in May, and it's going to be a whole big thing. But I had to change my whole career. I put the career in quotes
Right.
from the pandemic. That
Oh,
changed everything.
oh my
I had
God.
to, and so and made me also uh, look at myself because I used to go to Montreal every year. I do the State of the Industry speech
Right.
every year in Montreal, kind of saying what's wrong with the industry, and I did in the pandemic. I did it through a hologram. I did the first. They claimed the first hologram comedy performance, but I don't know if it was. But so I was in a hologram in L.A. and I was performing in L.A. and they were seeing it in Montreal. But then after a while, that festival I think went out of business or whatever, or maybe they're
I
back in business.
they're
But
they're starting to come back, yeah.
it made me think like uh, I'm lucky because I moved to Los Angeles in 1978 because I was a musician at the time, and so
Oh,
I didn't even
nice.
know. I just happened to stumble into comedy in the mid '80s. So. Uh, to me, it's the greatest city in the world because, and it's not because the crowds are great. The crowds could be indifferent sometimes, but I'm very used to being here. And so I don't really see a need now for me to go, except for money, but, to go out to different clubs all across. I missed some of them a lot, like
Right.
the Comedy Addict in Minnesota. I missed that club, not Minnesota, in Indianapolis. Not
Yeah.
Indianapolis, in Bloomington.
Yeah. At the Mall of America.
No, oh, no, it's
No.
Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
Is where it's called the Comedy Attic. It's really great, but I miss those. So it's just like who would know? So I a long way to answer your question. I've never been happier in my life. I made a comedy album called Hence the Humor, which I'm very proud of. It came out a couple few years. It came out during the pandemic because I couldn't wanted to release it as a physical album, but then when the pandemic hit, I didn't want to be like signing albums in the back of a thing and getting people breathing on me. So I just released it digitally, and it's just I'm so proud of it. And so I'm going to. That's my next goal is to do another album like
Yeah.
that, just audio, sometime this year, and then anything. I'm open. I mean, I am a very handsome
Yeah.
gentleman. There's
Very
no
handsome.
reason why.
Yeah. You're so handsome. You look like a nice Barry Sobel. That's what I say.
That's exactly. Well, Barry Sobel's nice.
Oh yeah. Well, next question.
Yeah, he's around. Don't tell me he's not around.
I mean, he's around, I guess. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, but he didn't pass away. I'm saying he didn't.
Yeah.
We'd be ill if we talked, because I've always been a fan of Barry. He had the 1 minute talk show. It was classic.
Yeah. Yeah. And but no, like I kind of agree because like I did my special right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened, and it was how like the first I don't know 5 or 6 months of the pandemic, like people weren't really watching comedy; they were streaming like Breaking Bad or Ozark,
Right,
like
that makes
catching up,
sense. Well, I didn't think about that, but that makes sense.
yeah, catching up on their their shows. So comedy was really dead, I would say, for the first 8 months of the pandemic. So my special bombed, and then
What was it
with
on?
it was on Mad Records,
Oh,
which
okay.
and then so like I think I've lost money on it. But then comedy like took a huge hit, and I was just like,
You mean it
fuck.
went the other way?
Yeah, like right during the pandemic, like on September or whatever, everyone was so tired of watching their shows, they started
Yeah.
watching comedy. I was like, so I kind of got trapped in that.
You got trapped in the no man's land or no
Yeah,
human's land.
no
Yeah,
humans land. Yeah,
exactly.
that's a good name for a new show. No
Uh,
human.
I'm gonna write down on my what did I say? No human land. No,
No,
I'm gonna
no
write on my
humans land.
whiteboard.
Yeah.
No humans land.
Yeah.
Good. And I will give you 20% or 50%, whatever it is.
Whatever. Well, first we gotta sell the show, but yeah,
Yeah,
man.
and first of all, we'll have to come up with the show.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying the show is called No Humans Land. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I didn't think it was a whole show.
Yeah. We could come up with a stick
That is
for.
a great title. So if I want you give me a script by Friday, I'll pitch it to Fox. See, here's the thing. I think I'm at a great point in my life because, on a serious level, when you're younger, not that serious, but when I was younger, in my 20s and my 30s, and I was part of that alternative comedy scene that happened in the 90s and after the
Yeah.
comedy boom kind of imploded. And, I was with a bunch of people who were incredibly talented people. And, uh, Bob Odenkirk, David Cross, all of these people. And it was hard not to get jealous because and to feel jealous. And I think it's just a thing of growing up. I was
Oh
very
yeah.
envious, and I made decisions, and so I was now I say now because of therapy and really looking at myself, it's like uh, what would make me happy? I am happy, and and of course, my anger at other people is like, I used to be very angry at Leno and stuff like that. I
Right.
used to
Right.
do it as comedy, but I can't spend I'm not going to spend my whole life just hating Leno or hating, but the thing is like, I used to convince myself I was hurting my career with the jokes I was doing, which I probably
Right.
was because I was, putting down executives and everything. But it was only because my self-esteem was so low that I couldn't accept that uh, this is what was meant to do.
Yeah.
This is what I was meant to do, not necessarily to be, because I had a historic falling out with, it's too long to go into, but a historic falling out with Adam Sandler. The short story is I made fun of him on stage for this movie he was doing. I used to be friends with him, and I thought he was hilarious, but I didn't like these movies, and I started getting envious, and then I realized I wanted to be in these movies, but I didn't like them, and so
Right.
now I look back all these years later, I wouldn't have wanted to be in the Adam Sandler movies.
Oh no.
In fact, the truth is, the things I was saying about him came from actual real feelings. I loved him when he first came on it was
Scene. Yeah.
Letterman and stuff like that. Hilarious, but I couldn't care less about all the movies and the lowest common denominator stuff. So,
Yeah.
but now,
Sense.
but I don't want to look at him everywhere and get furious for the rest of my life. That's when it becomes my issue, and so
Right.
that's what I'm working on, letting
So
go of the grudges.
yeah, yeah. But like, so my opinion is Sandler is either hit or miss. Like his movies are either great or just so bad. You know what I mean?
That could be
And
age too, though, because
yeah,
you are younger than me, so you may have actually been younger when his movies came out.
yeah. I just turned 38, so yeah.
So I mean, but were you like a teen when Wedding Singer came out and all that stuff?
I liked Wedding Singer. Yeah,
No,
that
no, I'm just
that.
saying, how old were you
Oh,
then?
I was probably 11 or 12.
See, that's it. See,
Yeah,
that's the other thing is that people who were kids love him, and you can't take that away from them. And I
yeah,
think you're right, though. First of all, he can be hilarious. He can be absolutely hilarious. He
yeah.
can still be hilarious. But I never saw, and a lot of the movies I just didn't see. And then a lot of movies you have to watch Rob Schneider too.
Oh
That's
yeah,
not a good bargain. The world he's turned into the world, really, maybe the world's most except for Trump, maybe the world's most unpleasant human.
yeah. Right. But you gotta watch Uncut Gems. You'll think of Sandler's totally different. Like, holy Lord, he was
Oh,
great in that one.
oh, here's the thing. I will watch that and I keep mixing it up with the other guy who I can't, for some reason, I cannot watch him, and it's no offense to him,
Right.
but Sandler's movie is called Uncut Gems.
Yeah, he
Okay,
plays a diamond guy who tries and sells a ring to Kevin Garnett, and like the mafia gets involved, and
well, he's also an excellent actor. He was excellent in
yeah,
Knocked Out Love or that thing that
yeah, yeah.
PT Anderson. But
Yeah.
I was mixing that up with Righteous Gems.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
watch that show. I
Yeah.
cannot, and so that guy is so cruel without ever showing. He's so cruel that he has made himself what I think he would like to be, completely unlikable
Right.
in every
Yeah.
way. But I also admit that he can be funny, but he hasn't really made me laugh. I bet I'm missing stuff.
Yeah.
Did you like The Righteous Gems?
I didn't watch The Righteous Gems. I watched Uncut Gems.
Yeah, that's something to see.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think that was one of the best movies I've ever seen, to be
Cool.
honest with you.
Well, I'm going to see it now. But you
Yeah.
see my confusion.
Yeah,
If I
yeah.
thought The Righteous Gems was with Adam Sandler, if I would even increased my grudge. Why increase a grudge?
Well, that's true. I wanted to ask you though, because like, do you think that maybe some of the stuff you said kind of like maybe burned some bridges?
Yes, yes, it did. Absolutely.
But do you think that maybe your style of comedy though, because like that kind of style's in right now, like look at Jeff Ross, he's on top of the planet, and he
Right,
just
but I think I would separate myself from Jeff Ross because just because I want to.
right,
And the other thing is that his is more like roasty, which I'm terrible at. I
right,
did the Chevy Chase's second roast, and I went on after Lisa Lapinelli, and I've joked about this. It was the only gig I've ever done that was in danger of going into a second day, and I bombed. I bombed it. And they didn't even include me in the final. It was at the Friars Club. They didn't even include me in the final thing. They put a thing of Randy Quaid before Randy Quaid went nuts. They put him swimming across a pool. So that kind of comedy, but uh, I was never that good. But here's the thing: the roasts are almost a cover, even though I don't think it's the right thing, because I think sometimes they, like you do 3 hours of homophobic jokes. That's, as an excuse because it's
right.
a roast. But with me, my stuff was way more. I'm talking about actual other comics where Jeff
Oh
Ross
no,
is putting down, you know,
people, yeah,
right. So my thing was always going to be more problematic. And I just wish I had been able to be more accepting of myself back then. And that's my only advice to a younger me would be to just because I used to build up this whole case. Jay Leno, by taking the Tonight Show, is ruining the universe. So I have to come up with the greatest jokes. And now I just don't feel that way anymore.
yeah, definitely.
But I still want to be able to do things like, like Tim Allen, he has a new show out. He has a new show out. And
It's
what's it called?
swifting gears or switching
So,
gears.
yeah, right. And so, and on the pilot episode, his wife kills herself while he watches Fox News.
Really?
No, that's a joke.
Oh,
I think I say it so deadpan like. I've said it about 3 or 4 times recently, and people take me seriously. No, it's not. I just think that would be funny because he's a widow. Maybe I should set it up like this. He's a widow in the new show,
right.
and in the pilot episode, what happens is, I think it was the delivery on that one.
That was great though, because I totally bought it. I was like, wait, what?
Exactly.
Uh, but let's talk about judging for a second because you were on Last Comic Standing and you guest judged and like I wanted to know like during that time did you feel like was it something you just did for money or did you feel like because I feel judging comedy like comedy can't be really judged. You know what
No,
I
I
mean?
agree with you 100%, and I took it because I needed the money, and
Uh-huh.
I was completely broke. But I also took it because Paige Hurwitz, who was running the show that year, she promised that there would be no because in the previous years, and Barry Katz's client, and there was all this like I don't like the Simon Cowell thing. I hate it. So I did at least say if they had told me you got to take it and you got to put down everybody, I wouldn't have taken it because I couldn't do it. But I took it for the money. But it turned out to be an amazing experience. Not that I would say I'm going to the Voice next or the Comedy Voice. But Greg Giraldo was one of the judges,
Yeah.
and Natasha Leggero, and I would never have gotten closer with Greg Giraldo if I hadn't done it, and I wouldn't have. It was just a great experience to do, even though I knew, like, when I went to Montreal that year to do my speech, I said, "Look, I'm not going to say anything about me doing Last Comic Standing because nothing I could say would be more vicious than what you're probably thinking." You know?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Judgy. Ooh, ooh. But no, you're absolutely right. Uh, I think more than any other art form, comedy looks cheesy as a contest thing. But I'll say in defense of that year, there were great. There was Roy Woods Jr. I think Adomian was on that year. It was a great year for that show. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It's like I don't even like it with music. I don't, it's
Oh
like
no.
some people say the voice is nicer. Like my friend says the voice is nicer because they're nice to people. It's not so mean.
Why do you think that is? Because like I feel like music, they do get more attention than comics and stuff like that. When I feel because those shows when you get down to the point, it's all about giving whoever musicians or comedians a chance or a platform, right? But
Mhm.
like with music, I guess everyone tends to, oh, did you watch American Idol? That guy was really good. But like on a Last Comic Standing, a lot of people don't really, oh, did you watch, for example, I wasn't on the show, but did you watch Keith Reza, who's really good? You know what I mean? It's kind of
Yeah,
like,
because I think the thing is that uh, I'm old enough to remember a show called Ted Mack's Amateur Hour. It was in the 50s. So this
okay,
amateur hour thing has even in comedy. I won a comedy contest in 1987 at a local club called the Ice House. So it's always been. It's like the San Francisco International Comedy Competition. That
yeah,
was a very famous thing. I mean, I think nobody there participated because they loved the format of having to defeat another comic. It really was a promotional thing, and I think music just lends itself more to it. It's
right.
easier to like, well, judge this because what was that? Everybody's got what is it? Anybody's got talent, or everybody's got where?
America's Got Talent,
Yeah, where you don't have to, where you have a singer going up against a priest
right?
who's going up against someone who's doing sign language. So I mean, how do you judge?
Exactly.
How do you
I,
judge and think? And I think ultimately those shows are, whatever you want to call it,
yeah, I agree.
low brow.
And I don't think there'll ever be a comedian who ever wins America's Got Talent. I think that like they might make the finals, but they're not going to win it because
They have to impress because these shows make people think. It's like even if I'm going to watch Ed Sullivan, I'm seeing the Flying Wallendas. You're in that
right,
mode of impress me,
yeah,
right? You
exactly.
can't do that with a comic.
Can't do
That's
it.
why I'm amazed. I was talking to my friend Josh about how amazing it is that Nate Bargatze, he's hilarious, but he also brings the crowd to his energy level, which is amazing to do in a big. I couldn't do that in a big room.
You know why I like him so much is because when he started, because our paths crossed when he started, the guy couldn't sell ticket to save his life. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And now he's selling out theaters, and it's just the exact same material. So it's kind of like I'm so proud of him. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
so. I don't know. Like, I'm not one of those guys who gets jealous of people. Like, if anything, I'm so proud of him because it's like he worked his ass off. And I feel a lot of people, like even Matt Rife, a lot of people are giving him crap. He worked his ass off too. You know what I mean?
Right, but the thing is, I don't know if we're gonna have an agreement on these because there's a whole bunch of comics who I really like. Was Tony Hinchcliffe? I don't know what Matt Rife does, but I don't. It's like I haven't seen him, so I have to reserve. But this whole thing of like right wing comedians,
Right.
that's Joe Rogan. I mean, the Joe Roganization
Yeah.
of comedy,
I'm
and
not, I think Joe Rogan's a liar. And
yeah.
I know this, like, not to like ramp on it, but on all because I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan only because, like, when I interview people, I like to listen to as much content as possible so I don't ask the same questions. And in every episode I ever listen to Joe Rogan, he tells a story about how he was close with Norm and stuff, and Norm fucking hated him.
Oh my
So,
God, that is
so
so terrible.
yeah, so like I'm like if
Did
you're
Norm
if
pretend to like him?
no, nor I have text messages, Andy. I could show you and like he's just
Yeah,
Like,
he is a liar. I mean, I didn't even think about that's on
but
top
it's
of
like
everything else.
if you're lying about that, what makes me think I want to believe all the other stuff you're saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, also, to be totally honest, he was one of the worst comics I've ever seen in a club. He did the lowest common denominator material, and the fact that he's got the fact that Trump won, the Nazi won twice. It's like I'm severely disappointed. Not in everybody in this country, but the country as a whole
Right.
has gone down the drain. Now, I will say I don't know what Matt Rife does, so I have to take that back and look at and see what he does. But some of the other guys are like Hinchcliffe. I think
Oh,
he's
he's terrible.
yeah, and under the guise of being a roast guy, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we could go on and on about Hinchcliffe, but like I agree. I feel there's with comedy, like I don't really care about politics, what side they're on, but if it like if their comedy is hurting people, that's what I don't like.
Well, yeah, but even like these, I mean, I don't know what these Andrew Schultz or like maybe he has some funny material about his family, but I know that these guys are drifting. Well, of course, Adam
Right.
Carolla is on the right wing. Many of these guys, like and Jimmy Dore, who wasn't even ever a funny comedian, he was a terrible comedian. He seemed like a nice guy,
Right.
and there's no crime being a terrible comedian. I like people no matter how their act is, but
Right.
he went and now actual people have died because he's lied to them about vaccines. And I don't know how these people can live with themselves. I don't know how RFK Jr. gets up in the morning knowing that. I just got a thing about measles that if luckily, I was born before 1957. But if you
Uh,
weren't, you have to get another measles shot now
whoa. So
because of these
do
idiot.
I
Because
have to get another shot?
I think you probably will have to get. When did you get? You never got one as a kid, probably.
The measles?
Yeah.
I've never gotten the measles, so I don't
Yeah,
know
you
if
have
I.
to. Well, I'm over vaxxed. I
Oh,
have
okay.
boosters. I have every booster, and I will take any vaccine that comes along. There's a
Uh,
vaccine called "You're Over 50, Relax." Sorry, when it launched into material.
I remember I got the chicken pox like when I was a kid, and that was the worst thing in the world,
Ooh,
Andy. Oh my God. I was like, it was so bad. I think I actually wanted to die because it was just it wasn't about the itchiness. It was like when you read a book like ooh, itchy itchy chicken pox or whatever, they make it seem like it's just itchy.
itchy.
It's actually very painful. Like
Ah,
it's not.
and the measles is no picnic,
Yeah. So, but yeah,
except for
man.
the German measles because it's harsh and strict.
That's a good joke.
It is, but I'll write it down. But let's get away from the Germans.
All right.
Since our country has become a fascist wonderland, I can't make fun of Germans anymore. What did I just say though that I should write down?
Oh, it was about the measles. I
Uh,
I'll
oh,
read
me, German measles.
German measles. Yeah,
Yeah, because they're very strict,
very strict. Right.
clean. Okay.
Uh, I wanted to ask you about Bob's Burgers when you record. Like, I don't know if times have changed now because now you could do it via on the computer. But did you ever go to a studio or did you just record it and send it in?
No, no, Bob's Burgers, when it first was done, it was done in studios. Because I go back all the way to Dr. Katz back in the 90s. I was on
Right.
that show, and that's Lauren Bashar was a producer on that show.
Yeah.
And so I was also, then Lauren Bashar also was involved with Home Movies, which was a great show. You remember that show?
No, no.
Oh, it was
I remember Dr. Katz though.
Home Movies was after Dr. Katz, and it was with Brendan. What's his last name? Brendan Small.
Brendan
And
Small.
and then uh, so Bob's Burgers was done in various studios, voiceover studios. Now they have like a complex. It's just unbelievably beautiful. It's in,
Really?
in
So
Burbank.
it's still a studio you go to.
Well, yeah, they have their own everything. They have
Wow.
their own everything. You go into the Bob's Burgers area. They had this huge room with all the memorabilia in there. And then like to go, I do a voiceover. What do you want? You want a scotch on soda? What do you want? Like a espresso martini, whatever you want. And
Right.
then you go in, and it's just the great. So it's great. So now it's like, and I'm saying it's great because I'm so happy I'm on it. I think is what it is. And it's
Right.
like I don't have to leave the city.
Yeah.
I can even dress casually.
Yeah. I think that that's my goal as a comic is to get on something where you just hear my voice, but you don't know what I look like.
Right, that's
You,
true.
you know what I mean? I feel
People
like,
recognize my voice. It's like H. John Benjamin would be an example.
yeah,
He's got the greatest voice.
yeah.
He does Bob.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
like that just proves my point. You know what I mean? It's like everyone knows the voice, but they probably don't really know what they look like. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like you could kind of escape the world of celebrityness in a way.
Yes. Are you looking to do that? Because I have done it very successfully.
Yeah, yeah, to be a voice actor. Yeah, definitely.
I
But
don't get
yeah.
mobbed when I walk around.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to take pictures all the
No,
time or sign
exactly.
autographs. I don't mind doing it, but like I don't think I'd want to do it like I'm trying to go to Walmart and get fucking toilet paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let you have your privacy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want to be like John Cusack where everyone's bugging me.
Yes.
I don't know if people bug John Cusack, but I was just
Not anymore because if you read, he gets a little extreme. Maybe if they don't, well, first of all, you see him, you don't know what he's saying online, but he
right.
gets a little extreme online sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That's
he's still delightful.
oh yeah. I wanted to ask you, when you first started comedy, what was your biggest fear in comedy, and do you still kind of have that fear when you perform?
Well, I have a case of and I always say severe case of OCD, but most cases of OCD are severe.
Hmm.
So it was my OCD that really limited me for a couple of years, even because I went through this phase where you're trying to find your voice, and you first start, you're kind of like the novelty of it and the excitement of it. You could do it, you get you through, but then I then what were we talking about? I forgot.
Your fear when you first
Oh yeah.
started
So
comedy.
then the fear was on the way to developing my own voice
Yeah.
was the idea that why I once you do it, then you're not going to have these same problems. But before you establish your own voice, it's not like you're looking for but you're looking to be yourself on stage.
Right.
And if you have OCD like I had, I was literally on stage saying, I am holding the mic. I'm not saying to the crowd,
Right.
but I am holding the microphone in my left hand now. I can't stop thinking about the fact that I'm on TV, not TV. I can't stop thinking about the fact that I'm doing stand-up. And I thought that would go on forever
Right.
because I was untreated from OCD until I was like 50, and until my 50s, I was untreated. So for years, I had, and they're all bad. Like Howie Mandel's case, my case. I used to think I'd hit someone in my car if I hit a pebble, and then I'd go
Right.
around the block to see if I hit him again. And I
Oh
said, "Oh
my.
no, maybe they crawled off into the bushes." I used to, do a joke about how I called the police station, and then I say, "Have any tiny people been hit by a car?" Because I think I might have hit a tiny person. But so it was very
Right.
debilitating, but did not. So, in fact, my therapist says it's a miracle that you have accomplished this with the severe OCD that I have.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe I have a form of OCD too, because I agree. I feel like whenever I run it over like a big plastic bag on the road or whatever, I
Yeah.
always feel maybe there was a body in it or something. You know what I
That
mean?
yeah, everyone's on the continuum.
Yeah.
So, like, the difference between someone who has OCD and what you have, which is again on the continuum,
Right.
is that you wouldn't be able to stop thinking about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like
I
you'd be
I I stopped thinking about it after I ran over the second bag.
That's exactly right. So, so because the insidious part of OCD is that it's based on true. It's based on a morsel of truth.
Right.
I am thinking about me holding the microphone, or, I could hit someone and then run around the block. So it's unlike other illnesses. It's also it's better. It's nice to overcome it because that it's ludicrous. So like a lot of people have trouble separating the voice. Like I'm in therapy. We all have these voices in our head, like the judge and all these voices. And a
Right.
lot of people, I have OCD, so I know that all of the stuff I'm thinking is not me.
Right.
So it actually makes it a little bit easier to uh, to separate to
Yeah.
separate from myself. But I did overcome all that, and I never overcame fear though, like with doing Letterman and stuff like that. And I was always afraid that I would lose my place. So I have an issue with that. And I don't you don't use Letterman. A lot of people don't use cue cards. So I heard that he doesn't like if you. He never said that to me, but I wasn't using cue cards. So one show I was just doing the show by remembering the one word of the bit, right? So
Right.
the bit comes up to Michelangelo, and I can't remember what the bit is. I can't remember what it is right now. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just staring there, and it was on Letterman. I was, so that was always my biggest fear. I don't think I would have that fear. I don't think I have anywhere near that fear anymore. Now, if I was hosting the Oscars, I
It'd be
would,
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
be scared to death. But that's natural.
Yeah.
It's natural.
I would agree because like my biggest fear when I started comedy is because most of my act I talk about being on the spectrum. And my biggest fear is, oh, are people thinking I'm making fun of being on the spectrum, or if I'm
Right.
not being sympathetic to that? But the longer I did it, and the longer I did comedy, like I got on speech therapy and doing comedy, I kind of don't have that fear anymore.
What
Where
does that mean? You don't talk about, but you still talk about it, or you
no,
don't
I
talk about
still
it?
talk about, it, but
Yeah.
I feel if people think I'm making fun of it, then they don't really get it.
No, they don't get
Yeah,
it. No, I mean that's the thing. It's like, well, the difference is I'm the I can't stand Shane Gillis. I just can't stand that what he said about Chinese people, and I can't stand that
right.
he never really apologized for it. But what were we talking about?
We were talking about fears, and then how I don't have that fear of if I say my jokes about
Oh,
being on the
right.
spectrum. Yeah.
Okay, so Shane Gillis, he does a bit. He does this bit about that basically makes fun of Down syndrome. I haven't heard the whole bit, but it's he's making fun of Down syndrome in the context of it's his cousin.
Right.
So, and to me, it's like I, I don't care what show. It's not that you can't do material. You do whatever you want, but don't couch things and oh, it's my family member. Where in your case, you are on the
Right.
spectrum. So if anybody, the thing that would be terrible is if you were faking that you were on the spectrum or something like that.
No,
You know.
definitely.
So
And yeah. And that's the thing is like, especially like cuz I have been accused of that too, and it's like it's not a good feeling, you know what I mean?
of making fun of well, here's the
No.
thing. I think everybody needs to learn their own moral boundaries. Because I always like tell this story as an example. Like I used to do bits about being afraid because I was Jewish and I couldn't even go on a train.
Right.
I was going to Baltimore. Yeah, Baltimore, Stuttgart, and all all this stuff. And then I got this Jewish guy who was like a TV writer. He got very upset. And he confronted me and said that I was insulting Jewish people. And I didn't think I was because I thought that I wasn't just trivializing camps or anything. I was dealing with my own fear and the humor of that. But I thought it was an excellent experience for me because it did get me to think.
Right.
It's not bad to think, is this
No.
gratuitous or is this truly funny? And I think that is what I still do. I don't think there's anything wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong. And more comics should do that as opposed to like, they would go like Louis C.K. and these people would say, well, I can say anything I want on the stage. You can say anything you want, but you're going to get a reaction too,
Right. And you gotta accept whatever reaction you get. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So I want to respect your time, but I have two more questions. Can
sure.
I? Okay. So, I heard that, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard that you offered $1 million to people if they could prove to you Whoopi Goldberg was
No,
funny.
it's not that they proved me because Whoopi Goldberg can be. I've seen her be funny.
Oh, okay.
Footage of her being funny, though,
Uh,
like in a comedy special or a
okay.
movie. Yeah, I used to be really. I used to when the Comic Relief was on. I used to. Those guys drove me crazy. Billy Crystal and Robin Williams and so a lot of my early speeches in Montreal were basically about how hacky comedy was.
Right.
And I was just making fun of stuff. But actually, it's harder now because comedy's better now
But
in general.
I was gonna ask, did anyone like try and take you up on that, like send you videos and stuff?
Well, well, you're not going to do it because I'm not going to laugh at Sister Act. You know, I'm not going to laugh at her old Broadway show. I mean, you could say that I was being facetious. I'm not saying she's incapable of being funny,
Right.
but so if you just send me something where she's funny in conversation, I'm not going to send you $1 million.
Right. I
But if it's
was
truly funny, The money's coming your way.
All right, cool. I was gonna say because there's this movie that a lot of people don't know about called Eddie, and it was about where she was a basketball coach.
I
So I was
remember that movie with Billy Crystal, right?
no, it was
Oh, what am
Whoopi.
I? I'm thinking Forgetting Paris.
Yeah, no, you're thinking My Giant, or oh, forget Paris. He was a basketball referee. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
You're right.
No, but this is Eddie, and it was what was that? What was the premise of that?
She was the coach of the New York Knicks.
I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna
All right.
watch this, Keith, and you're gonna hear from me
All right.
if I can't get through it. Eddie, but then the whiteboard.
All right.
Eddie.
Well, you can keep the $1 million if you laugh. I just want the credit. Be like I was the one who made it.
Yes.
Okay. And then my last question for you, Andy, is if you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of yourself, knowing everything you know now, what would you tell yourself?
I think I've revealed it a little bit already. I would be nice to myself.
Right.
I would have empathy for myself. I think 99% of all artists' angst is based on they're afraid of what the crowd thinks, whereas what you should be doing is getting, like comedy's perfect because you actually have focus groups or whatever you want to say. They change every night.
Right.
So like if you go, I've done this joke 150 times and it's never worked, then you can go, oh, probably unless I just want to make one person laugh, I probably should, drop it.
But what if it works the 152th time?
Then that's the thing. And also, if it works because only one person in the room understands what I'm talking about. And like I actually do this joke now, which is to alienate. I said I'm trying to alienate everybody with my comedy now. So I'm trying to come up with jokes that nobody can laugh at. So did you know that Roy Rogers was triggered by his horse?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so if you're young enough that you know what triggered means, you have no idea who Roy Rogers is. Okay,
Yeah.
and if you're old enough to know who Roy Rogers is, you have no idea what triggering was. He named his horse Trigger.
Oh my God. I always thought Roy Rogers was like a Coke
drink.
and cherry. Yeah.
It is a drink, but it's based on a person
Oh
who
my
was
God.
like a cowboy.
I'm actually going to write that down.
And Dale Evans too was it
The-
Gene Autry? I don't remember.
The history of Roy Rogers.
No, Roy Rogers was his own person.
Oh, okay.
And you could also have a Shirley Temple, which is a lovely drink.
Yeah, I know who Shirley Temple was.
No, but the drink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great drink. Well, Andy, where can the folks at home follow and support you at?
Well, very nice of you to ask that. Please, I'm now on two formats. I'm on Instagram,
Okay.
and I'm all Andy Kindler. What is it? Andy Kindler Superstar is my handle over there. And then someone came to me and said, you suck. You're not a super. Like I actually meant it. I'm calling myself Andy Kindler Superstar. I'm the
Right.
greatest star in the world. And they were like, you stink. How dare? What do you think you're that good? And then I'm over at mostly at Blue Sky now, which I don't even know my address because it's got the Andy Kindler. I've got the name Andy Kindler.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And
Well-
also, so hence the humor. I recommend it. It's a couple of years old, but I think you should download that. And also, please listen to my podcast, which is called Thought Spiral, which is myself and J. Elvis Weinstein. And we advertise it as 2 Jews, 2 microphones, 2 hours.
Whoa, that's pretty good. Nice little slogan.
Yeah.
All right.
We have
Well,
5 listeners.
Well, Andy, thank you so much.
Thank you. This was
And-
really fun.
And I'd love to talk to you again sometime. And, I thank you. You really helped me out as a comic just by doing this. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
All right.
Now, you want to make sure that it's recorded, right?
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
record. Yeah. I'm about to say goodbye. All right, guys. Subscribe, rate,
Oh, I
review.
didn't know that you were. It came in over your clothes.
Oh,
Go ahead,
yeah.
do the close again.
Oh, okay.
I love the way you close.
Thank you. Oh, crap, Andy. I forgot to record this.
Uh-oh.
Just kidding.
I think it stopped, though. It did stop, right?
Nah.
Oh.
All right, Rifters. Subscribe, rate, review. We'll see you guys next week on Reza Rifts. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.